Well, today we start a new book of the Bible. We start 1 Corinthians. And, before too much longer, we're going to get back into our series. We'll get the students back in town, and then we'll get back into our series of 1 Corinthians. But here's a little bit of reminder teaching. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 5. Paul said, through him, God has enriched your church in every way, with all your eloquent words and all your knowledge. Now, isn't that beautiful? He didn't say enriched you individuals. He said, God has enriched your church. Now, brothers and sisters, we live in a world where after COVID, all these people want to have the house church. Nobody gathers together in the church anymore, and nobody wants to gather together. And the concept of the local church is being broken down. And, in part it's being broken down because of COVID, and in part it's being broken down by preachers who have figured out that, like televangelists, you can take a lot of money in and not have to spend any money taking care of the people. But you know what? The tithe and the offerings are supposed to be used to take care of God's people, provide a place for them to gather together and worship, and provide all the things that they need for their spiritual lives. She said, please, God has enriched your church, not you as an individual, your church in every way. But then he comes down to verse 10. He said, I appeal to you. Now here's him. He said, I beg of you. He said, I appeal to you, dear brothers and sisters. He said, let's understand we're family. We're brothers and sisters. We're part of God's family. We're part of God's household. He said, I appeal to you, family. He said, by the authority of our Jesus Christ, to live in harmony with each other. Let there be no divisions in the church, but rather be of one mind, united in thought and purpose. For some members of Choli's household have told me about your quarrels. My dear brothers and sisters, some of you are saying, I'm a follower of Paul. Others say, I follow Apollos. Others say, I follow Peter. Or others say, I only follow Christ. He said, now listen, you've got people that have come up from among you, and they've got you all looking after a person. They've got you all following a person. And when that has happened, he said, you're not in harmony with each other anymore. You've gotten into the old patronage system that came out of the philosophers from Athens. Because remember, Corinth is just across the water from Athens. And really, Athens was pretty much dead now. It's 400 or 500 years past their golden age. And all the philosophers are basically over in Corinth now. That's the big wealthy area of the time. He said, you're back into this patronage system where everybody is identified with who they follow. He said, that's not how we're supposed to be. You say, well, Pastor, how are we supposed to be? Well, he says that in verse 10. He said, be of one mind, be united in thought, and be united in purpose. As a local church, we should have one mind, we should be united in thought, and united in purpose. And that's not hard to do.